With regards to what candidates should be looking for when they're actually on the trail, assuming that most of our interviews now are in person, what should candidates be looking for either on the in-person interview or just in general to see, you both mentioned the fit between an applicant and a program. What are some considerations maybe from an applicant side of things?
I think the good thing to do is first of all, you should have a mentor, someone you could sit down with. So I would have residents sit down with me and say, Dr. Steinmann, I'm interested in shoulder and elbow or interested in hand. These are where should I apply? I reply back to them and say, why don't you come back to me with 10, 15 programs that you think you're interested in, geographic or whatever it might be. Usually it's a conversation in the hallway first. I say, why don't you see where you want to be, see what your interests are, and then narrow that down to about 10 programs or so, and then come back to my office and we can sit down for 20 minutes, half hour. I'll give you my viewpoint on all those 10 programs we're talking about. I think that's a first step.
Yeah, that's great advice, and then also doing the research by getting on the websites, I think of it, we mentioned fit, and it's really about a relationship, right? Like not every program is created the same. Again, just thinking from the trauma programs I know, the experiences can be considerably different. They're all, I think, very good and quality experiences, but what you need and what that program does more or less of can be quite unique. That's the fit aspect. And so trying to figure that out up front through conversations with your mentors and doing the research can really guide which place you're going to interview at. And then during the interview, figuring out ways to assess whether that's the reality. At the interviews, I think detailed notes are really important. And then I would suggest then you go back and have another conversation with your mentors about this is what I heard, does this seem real? Is that reasonable, etc. And also make sure that while you're at interviews that you get to talk to the current fellows. That's where I think the biggest truth lies, is probably with the current fellows experience.